power of the heart. Finding your inner wisdom.
The power of the heart.
Finding the power of the
Finding the
heart.
power of the heart.
The power
Power
of
of the heart. Power of the heart.
让我们寻回新的力量。
the
Power
power
of the
heart.
Thank you for joining us today. My name is Yuru Chao. You are tuning in to the Power of the Heart on Dai Radio. Let me start by telling you the story of Dr. Huang Yiying from Metabolism Department of Taichung Tzu Hospital. As a vegetarian, Dr. Huang received the best gift in return, the improvement of her health. Her anti-nuclear antibodies index for lupus has decreased. That means she is much healthier after she became a vegetarian. She had lupus, which could cause deterioration of organs. It would even be dangerous for her to get pregnant. So, since student time, she felt very sorry for herself and was constantly stressed out and irritable about her future. Research has indicated that a low-fat diet with limitation on protein intake, especially animal protein, can counter disease of the immune system. However, she struggled to give up her desire in gourmet food. Fortunately, she was introduced to Buddhism and learned that animals are like humans. They have awareness and emotion as well. So she resolved to never eat animals again, no matter how strong her temptations was. Vegetarian protein and fat are all healthier than meat and fish. So are vegetarian fiber and vitamins. If we could replace meat with vegetarian diet, then our health will improve and reduce risk of the most common killers today. For example, stroke. Major international studies have also demonstrated that vegetarian diet can prevent and even alleviate diabetes. The possibility to have diabetes-induced cardiovascular disease was also reduced. Beans and vegetarian protein can reduce proteins in the urine and reduce stress on the kidneys. Consequently, there is much less danger of having kidney complications resulting from type 2 diabetes. Dr. Huang is currently pursuing a pure vegan diet. Her energy and stamina at work and in sports match those of her peers. She does not get irritated or angry easily as before. Now she has 2 adorable sons. They praise her for being a more gentle and patient mother as she continued with her vegetarian diet. She believes that her vegetarian diet has not only improved her health, but also turned her life around. So, you see, we are what we eat. If we eat and live healthy, we'll be healthy. And eating vegetarian, we will reduce any negative karma retribution. This is what it means to be mindful in our daily living. In our program today, we'll begin with a reading about verses adaptation of the Sutra of Innumerable Meanings. This reading is provided by Dharma Master Deling. Then, after a short break, we'll discuss this reading with Miss Stephanie Shao.
You are listening to The Power of the Heart on Dai Radio. Tapping into the power of the heart. Finding your inner wisdom. Finding the power of the heart.
The Power of the Heart, Appendix 4. Today we will be listening to the verse adaptation of the Sutra of Innumerable Meanings. The following are subtitles for the staged adaptation of the Sutra of Innumerable Meanings, whose Chinese is 无量易经. The Chinese verses of the adaptation were composed by Mr. Wang Duanzhen, based on Dharma Master Zheng Yan's teachings, to render the millennia-old teachings of the sutra in a way that people of today can more easily understand, remember, and recite. They capture the essential message of the three-chaptered Sutra of Innumerable Meanings, 无量易经, which is the opening sutra in the body of teachings known as the Threefold Lotus Sutra, 法华三部. Chapter 1. Virtues. Bodhisattvas are wise beings with great compassion. Their minds are tranquil, ever abiding in meditation, peaceful, free of desires, and immune from any kind of delusion or wrong thoughts. Theirs is a mind of translucent purity, with vast, profound vows. They hold these vows unwaveringly for countless eons of time. Having attained great wisdom, they penetrate all laws and come to understand all the innumerable teachings. They can differentiate the real aspect of things from apparent differences. In form, phenomena have apparent differences, long or short, large or small. With the power of eloquence, bodhisattvas teach the truth, like dew falling, which keeps the dust of desire from being stirred up, like a cool breeze that quells the fever of worldly troubles. The bodhisattvas bring refreshing coolness and cleanse away ignorance. They pour the water of Dharma to moisten the dry land of living beings' minds, sow seeds of goodness to develop the fields of merit, and inspire all to seek enlightenment. With boundless compassion, they work to relieve suffering beings. Bodhisattvas are living beings' true friends, mentors, and guides. They enable living beings to cultivate a great field of blessings. Without being asked, they offer guidance to living beings. They are living beings' place of security and happiness. They are the relief, protection, and support for living beings. At any time, anywhere, they serve as mentors and guides. They serve as eyes for the blind and set right the minds of the wayward and deluded. Bodhisattvas are great healers. They can discern illnesses, give correct diagnosis, and prescribe the appropriate medicine. They are ship captains who carry living beings across the river of endless rebirth to the shore of nirvana. They give what is hard to give: their wealth, family, power, and status. There is nothing they cannot give, even giving their eyes, marrow, and other parts of their body. They uphold the Buddha's precepts of purity and never break them, even at the cost of their life. They never become angry, even when harmed, cursed, or insulted. In spite of long exertion, they never become tired. Their mind abides in Dharma, day and night. Practicing all the teachings, they gain wisdom and come to understand the minds of all living beings. At the stage of Buddhahood, their minds are firm and unwavering. They abide by their vows of purifying this world. Chapter 2. Preaching. There is a doctrine called Innumerable Meanings. It enables people to gain enlightenment quickly. The doctrine tells of the one timeless truth. The fundamental nature of all things is but one. Yet out of delusion we discriminate falsely. Thus we cycle endlessly in great suffering. Hence the Buddha expounded this great truth, which shall expel all doubts and confusion. Out of true compassion, the Buddha expounds this doctrine which all need to learn. Understanding it, we will understand all laws, and hence enable all to gain great benefit. This sutra is like a seed. One grows into millions. These millions of seeds each produce millions, until the number is innumerable, countless. One truth unfolds into innumerable meanings. The innumerable meanings come from but one truth. Hearing it and grasping its essence, one will understand all laws, all phenomena. Bodhisattvas' hearts remain on this truth, so the compassion they have is real and authentic. They dedicate themselves to relieve suffering. After this, they guide people to the truth. This sutra enables all to gain happiness. It is protected by all Buddhas across time. No demon or heretic can break into it, nor can any wrong view destroy it. The sutra tells of the real aspect of all things, ever-changing, being born, continuing, decaying, gone. This fundamental law has always operated. Deep and profound is the supreme teaching, a compassionate teaching that can end suffering. Grasping the fundamental, one realizes enlightenment and can bring great benefit to all beings. People have differing propensities and desires, so the Buddha had to preach differently and tactfully adapt methods to guide people to truth. Different as people are, all have the Buddha nature. The Buddha's teachings are like water which can wash away filth. Be it from a well or pond, river, brook, or sea, the water can cleanse away filth. Such too is the power of the Buddha's teachings. Though varying, all water is fundamentally the same. So too is the Dharma. Just as all water can wash away filth, all Dharma can wash away inner impurity. The Buddha taught the Four Noble Truths, so all can come to see the truth behind all things. All are ever-changing, never at stasis. Though but one teaching, each understands his own. The four phases of change are fundamental to all. Supreme is this teaching of the Buddha. One truth, many meanings. Many meanings, one truth. This truth preached, many become transformed. Deep and profound is this supreme teaching, the doctrine of innumerable meanings. This supreme teaching, innumerable meanings, all must practice it, hold to it, this holy doctrine of innumerable meanings. Chapter 3, 10 Merits. The Sutra of Innumerable Meanings comes from the abode of Buddhas. It goes to transform the mind of all beings and dwells where the Bodhisattva way is practiced. Those who practice it gain 10 merit powers. To attain inconceivable merit powers begins first with having faith. First, this sutra enables the unawakened to aspire to enlightenment. It makes the merciless become kind. It makes he who likes to kill have compassion. It makes the jealous have joy toward others. It makes the attached be able to let go. It makes the stingy become willing to give. It makes the arrogant willing to follow precepts. It makes he who has an angry mind have forbearance. It makes the indolent become diligent. It turns a distracted mind into a mind in meditation. It turns an ignorant mind into a mind of wisdom. He who doesn't help others will be inspired to save others. He who commits the 10 evils will take up the 10 wholesome ways. He who creates bad karma will aspire not to do so. He who wavers becomes firm in his aspiration. He who has inner defilements will strive for undefilement. He who has afflictions will strive to rid afflictions. The second inconceivable merit power. One law unfolds into a million meanings. Each meaning unfolds into a million more, resulting in innumerable meanings. Understand one principle, all principles become clear. One law encapsulates all laws, all principles. Diligently studying one teaching of the sutra, one can come to understand innumerable principles. The third inconceivable merit power is the capacity and vow of delivering living beings. Following the teaching of this sutra, affliction becomes as if non-existent. One is not seized by fear toward life and death. Like a ferryman who is seriously ill, having compassion for all, he still delivers living beings in his solid boat to the shore of nirvana. The fourth inconceivable merit power. The practitioner will be protected by all Buddhas. Though he cannot yet save himself, he can still save others as he keeps close to the good and the wise. He is like a young prince who, though young and not yet able to rule, is still revered and has influence and is guided by the king and queen. The fifth inconceivable merit power. By reading, reciting, keeping the sutra in mind continually for an extended period of time, the practitioner is able to gain people's trust and joy. Though still bound by delusion and mundane ways, he can carry out the way of bodhisattvas, just as a baby dragon of 7 days old can raise clouds and make rain fall. The sixth inconceivable merit power. Though still with delusions, yet by keeping this sutra, the practitioner can help others to end all kinds of suffering so that they transcend all, just like the Buddha. Though he himself is still swayed by delusions, the wisdom he preaches can help others cut off delusions. He is like a young prince who can still govern the kingdom by following the king's edicts. The seventh inconceivable merit power is displaying the power of the 6 paramitas. The practitioner spreads love with great compassion and works to relieve people of suffering. Through this practice, his delusion is cut off. He gains the ability to teach at people's levels and rises to the 7th Bodhisattva stage, where he now possesses wisdom. The 8th inconceivable merit power. Skilled in tactful means, the practitioner can inspire the misguided. These misguided can be made to cultivate diligently, and he enables them to stay firm on the path. For those who do not believe in karmic retribution, he guides them to understand the law. By firmly upholding precepts and by practicing giving, he purifies this world. The 9th inconceivable merit power is the attainment of the 9th Bodhisattva stage. The practitioner obtains the eloquence to purify living beings' minds and can instantly destroy sins committed in the past. He will perfect all paramitas, retain all teachings, and work diligently to relieve all from suffering and spread goodness throughout the world. Following the teaching of the sutra and deepening the practice of it, the practitioner gains the 10th inconceivable merit power. Fulfilling vows made while still a mundane being, he develops many good roots and brings benefit to all. He nurtures the withering with the water of Dharma and gives the medicine of the law to all living beings. His compassion extends to all beings, and he benefits all. He reaches the 10th, the highest Bodhisattva stage. Before long, he shall achieve perfect enlightenment and attain Buddhahood.
Hello everyone, my name is Stephanie Shao. I'm from the University of Maryland, College Park under the DC chapter of the United States. My favorite Jingsi aphorism is 时间滴答过，分秒要把握. And this teaching from Master Zheng Yin helps me really be mindful of how I'm using my time, always making sure I'm being productive no matter what task I may be doing. May wisdom and inspiration be with you always.
listening to The Power of the Heart on Da Radio.
Our special guest today is Miss Stephanie Shao. She lives at the dorm of University of Maryland, College Park. She majors in family science and elementary education. When she graduated, she wants to be a family therapist or a first grader teacher. Last summer, she went to the UN Youth Assembly as a participant. This year, she will be a group leader for Tzu Chi Youth Delegation. Welcome to the program, Stephanie. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Are you the founding member of Tzu Chi in University of Maryland?
I am one of the founding members along with quite a few of my friends.
To start a new club, it's not easy. It's actually quite a daunting task.
Well, I am what you would generally call a Tzu Chi baby. So I grew up in Tzu Chi philosophies. I went to Tzu Chi Academy. I was at Tzu Sha. So I think definitely, especially because I attended the UN Assembly last year during summer and then continued on to attend the TCCA, the Tzu Chi Leadership Camp last summer. I think seeing all the other Tzu Chi around not only the country, but just around the world, be so inspired to make a change in different ways. I think that really inspired me to try to want to really try to make a change in my own community as well.
How do you find time to volunteer?
I think it's definitely something that I've been learning because I am a freshman in college. It's something that I definitely think you start to learn in college is to manage your time wisely. You delegate a certain amount of time for each task, and you have to be very disciplined about it. It's something that I'm still learning about, still growing, still trying to really practice. But I think a lot of it's managing your time wisely, knowing when to do what, not getting too lazy, not putting things off to last minute too much.
How do you inspire new people, new students to join your club rather than just more work for them? Like, what can they learn from participating in Tzu Chi activities?
Well, I think that everyone volunteers in Tzu Chi for a different reason, and I think it's important to stress how diverse Tzu Chi really is, because we do have 4 missions, and that's something that's kind of incomparable to a lot of other organizations. But I think it's going to be different for every single member, like every single volunteer, or every single Tzu Chi, every single Tzu Sha. It's always different. So with new members, I definitely try to emphasize how diverse it is and to show them the different activities that we do, but also they can find activities that they might enjoy. And if they have any new ideas, it's great to always try new things. I like directly helping out people. So being able to maybe go to DC to serve breakfast for the homeless, that's something that's very meaningful to me because I can directly interact with the homeless and see how they're doing and see what they might need to know how I can help out in the future. I think being able to see the direct impacts of what I'm doing is really important for me.
Some of the students will ask, aren't you afraid of the homeless to serve them meal and to interact with them? Wouldn't that close encounter be kind of scary? What's your experience on that?
I've personally never really had any bad experiences. It's important to remember that we're all people, we're all human beings, and even though we live different lives and we're different people, that underneath it all, we're still here together, and we live in the same environment. Even though we're very different, it's important to understand and really not be ignorant. I think it's just important to remember not to judge a book by its cover, how cliche that sounds, but it is really important just to see things from your own eyes. It really opened my eyes, at least.
Is sharings from these homeless people really open your eye?
There are a lot of homeless that every single time we go, they'll always let you know how appreciative they are, just even for that one meal a week. And a lot of them are still trying to get back on their feet or are doing things to really be proactive about what they're doing in their lives to make a change and make a better life for themselves. As for tutoring at local elementary schools, that's something that I did in high school. It was really surprising to me, like very touching, that all of the first and second graders would come out every single Saturday just to work and improve on their schoolwork. And it's early in the morning and I could barely get up. But I know that for me and for a lot of other tutors there, one of the biggest reasons as to why we did it was because it was just amazing to see how dedicated these students, these first grade and second grade students were. And if they could wake up that early, then we could wake up that early too. It was definitely, a lot of the teachers at the end of the year, every single year, would come up to us and say how much their students have improved over the year. And knowing that we might have made this small change in their lives is just really amazing, because it's only a few hours every single week, but being able to really spend time with the kids is very valuable, and it's very precious memories I hold in my heart, at least. It was really nice to just see those kinds of kids who really had trouble focusing on their work, being able to really sit down and think through a problem just for maybe like 5 good minutes, after having struggled the whole time, just to see them accomplish or really solve one good addition problem by themselves. I think in those little moments, that was the most valuable experience for me, just little things like that.
Life indeed is made up of all these little moments. And then when you think back, these are the little moments that stays with you and brings smiles back to you as well. Thank you, Stephanie, for your time.
Our time is up today. This is the end of our discussion for the book named The Power of the Heart. Please join us next time when we start a new discussion on life economics. If you want to read this book we're talking about, you can find a copy in any Jingsi bookstore or as Kindle ebook on Amazon.com. For more teachings from Dharma Master Cheng Yen, please tune in next time to our program. Goodbye and have a great day.